The impact from the Soviet crisis is being felt right here in the Pacific Northwest. Area farmers worry as they see grain prices drop. And at least one local company faces the possibility of losing a $500 million deal with the Soviets. Today, Joe Anderson is harvesting his barley crop. Soon, his wheat will be ready. But following a disastrous winter and now the Soviet turmoil, he's not expecting a good year.
It will probably hold the market value down some more. It's pretty depressed right now, and it'll probably, any chances of it reviving itself are probably a little on the slim side, I would guess.
And indeed, both wheat and some barley prices have dropped 10 to 12 cents since the Soviet coup. Be able to make ends meet?
Not really. I have to run a sideline. I run an excavation business on the side to make it work.
In fact, the biggest customer for this area's wheat farmers isn't the Soviet Union at all. It's Japan.
So what we see in the Northwest, even though wheat doesn't directly go here to Russia, we see the ripple effect.
Farmers aren't the only ones affected. So is Spokane's R.A. Hansen Company. During the 70s, the company sold equipment to the Soviets to build canals with. Recently, it has been attempting to build one of these in the Soviet Union, a $500 million fertilizer plant.
Oh, I'm not optimistic at all. I think it'll be years before it'll be built now, if ever.
Hansen, like most of the farmers, know they'll survive without the Soviets. But for Joe Anderson, it'll mean making do with old farm equipment for yet another year.
Still run these old combines another year or two. Won't be any big purchases with the prices low as they are right now.
And while wheat and barley prices have dropped, there has been no effect, at least not yet, on peas and lentils. Having a big bearing, of course, in all this is whether President Bush imposes economic sanctions against the Soviet Union. And as we said earlier in the show, he is doing that as he evaluates the crisis. And while we are on the topic of farming, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it is indeed a scary sight. After we finished taping that report with Joe Anderson, his wheat and barley fields caught fire. Apparently, a spark from one of those old combines ignited the dry crops.
I don't think it came from the exhaust, but...
It's right behind your combine.
It was right behind my combine?
Yeah, right.
Maybe I got a bearing going bad or something, and it might have got hot and threw something off.
Well, Joe's lucky. Only a few acres are torched, but had the wind been a little stronger or blowing in another direction, it could have been an entirely different story. He could have lost his entire crop.